Hi there, everybody. We're going to move on to the next unit here, or sorry, the next lesson in our measurement unit. This is a very brief one. This is simply on area. Now, area was something that we did cover before when we were converting between SI units and imperial units. This is also something that you've done numerous times in junior high math, maybe even before that. Please remember, what is area? An area is how much space an object takes up. So, I just wanted to show you, because we are going to deal here today with squares and rectangles. So, if I just draw a basic example. So pretend that I put, this is like maybe a piece of paper over this grid. Okay, so what is the area of that piece of paper? You know, there's various ways of doing this. You could look and you could count the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's going to have 15. So you could easily say the area is 15 units. We don't know how big these squares are. But the point is, it always has to be squared. Because remember, area has two dimensions. It has a length and a width. Okay? So it has two dimensions. Now, another way you could do this, of course, is the multiplication method. And that's the preferred one that we want to use. Obviously, in this case, one dimension is 3 units long, and another dimension is 5 units long. And of course, that's going to give you 3 times 5, which is also 15 units squared. So basically, everyone here, this is nothing new, nothing significant. We're going to move through this pretty quick. I will just show you down here the formula. So if you have a square, of course, is going to have sides that are exactly the same. So if you want to find the area of a square, you simply can go side times side. If you so choose, you go side squared. Don't let that confuse you too much. So basically, that's easy going. So if I erase this here, if I draw a square, if I can, it's like this. All you would have to do is go area equals side times side, area equals, so it's 2 in one dimension and 2 in another, so 2 times 2, which is 4 units squared. Again, these could be square centimeters, I don't really know, but we're just putting units for right now. The other one here that you need to be aware of is the formula for area of a rectangle, which is probably the one that you'll come across more often. So please remember, area for a rectangle is length times width. Some people use base times height. I don't really think it matters too much. Anyway, all you would do is if I gave you this rectangle right here, okay, so you'd go area equals, we'll go length and width. It doesn't really matter which one you put where. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5 long, so you go 5, whatever, times 2. That would give you 10 centimeters, or sorry, 10 units squared. Okay, and obviously in this case, so if this was a piece of paper, it is covering up a space. It's covering up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 squares of that table, or 10 squares of that piece of paper. So really, you think of it, it actually makes kind of a lot of sense. Area is how much space something covers up. And I said to you here, it's 10 square units. And if you really look, each of these is a perfect square. How many of them does this shape cover up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the math works out perfectly, and you think of it, it makes sense in your brain as to what area is. Area is how many square units. If I took this a step further, let's now pretend, everyone, that each of these is 1 centimeter. Okay, 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter. So if I draw a rectangle like this, okay, so remember, each of those squares is 1 centimeter. So if I look at this one here again, this is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, okay? So each of these has an area of 1 centimeter squared. Now if I figure out, so if I did the formula, area is length times width, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 1, 2, 3, which is going to be 18 centimeters squared. And if you look, remember, each of these squares is 1 centimeter squared, 1 square centimeter. And if you count it up, that's 18. It makes perfect sense. Anyway, I'll show you a couple quick examples, then we'll move on to some practice. A room measures 3.05 meters by 3.96. Sometimes you'll be asked to estimate the area of a shape. I don't really want to focus too much on that, but what you would do in something like this is round to the nearest kind of whole or nice number. Like for example, if you have 3.05 meters, I mean that's pretty close to 3.00 meters. If you have 3.96 meters, that's pretty close to 4.0 meters. So if you wanted to find the area of this room by estimating, you go area equals length times width, and you would use the estimation. So 3.00 meters times 4.00 meters. So in this case, the area with estimation is a perfect 12 meters, and it has to be squared because remember, area is measured in 2 dimensions. There's a meter there, so we need to have 2 meters. Now, I'm not saying that the area is perfectly 12 meters. I'm just saying it's a close answer. It's an approximation that we know that we're pretty close to. To figure out the actual now, you would just go area equals length times width and use the actual measurements that are provided. 3.05 meters times 3.96 meters. Fire that through in your calculator. And it's pretty close to our estimate actually, which is 12.078 meters, and you always have to have the squared. Area always has a square because there are 2 dimensions in 2 meters. That's pretty straightforward. We'll try one more. You have the top of rectangular couch cushion is 23 inches by 26 inches. Joe wants to purchase enough material to cover the cushion. Now this is kind of an interesting one because what we have to do here is we have to put this into square feet, which is a little bit of a throwback to our last unit where we have to do some conversion. So let's just kind of estimate. You might remember, or you could look up on your conversion factor sheet. Please remember that 1 foot is equal to, if you take a look, it should be right in there, it's 12 inches. So personally speaking, I mean, I look at this 23 and this 26. Well, here's the deal. We know that 1 foot is 12 inches, so 2 feet would be 24 inches. Well, aren't both of these pretty darn close to 24? Personally speaking, I would change them both to 24 inches. So that would be like saying 24 inches by 24 inches. And they want this in feet, everybody, so let's just make this, we know what's 24 inches. That's 2 feet times 2 feet. So 2 times 2 is 4 feet, and whenever you have area, that is squared. So I'll just draw what this looks like. Here's your rectangular cushion, and it's, maybe I'm exaggerating, but remember, we change this one into 24 inches, this one into 24 inches. Both of those are 2 feet. So 2 feet, 2 feet, area equals length times width, and you go to town with your formula, and that will give you 4 feet squared. It's a pretty safe estimation. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it works. Now what we'll do is we'll figure out the exact, or the actual area in square feet. So what I would do is I'm going to draw this out. Whoa, I'm still in my eraser mode here, sorry. And again, I'm exaggerating the rectangle. So one of these, this will be our 23 inches. This will be our 26 inches. If you want my opinion, what I would do is I'd go area equals length times width. And I'd simply go 26 inches times 23 inches. Fire that into your calculator. That gives you, oh, a nice number, 598 inches. Now remember, this is area. We had an inch here, inch there, so inches squared. What I would do next is I would look at your conversion factor sheet, and there is a conversion factor between square feet and square inches. And we did this equal proportion ratio business so much in the last unit. On your factor sheet, it says that 1 foot squared, put that over, is equal to 144 inches squared. Now we have just figured out this area. That's an inches squared. Inches squared's bottom left, now that'll be bottom right. And you're simply going to do cross multiply and divide. So remember, that's your first diagonal, that's your second. Which diagonal deals with both numbers? That's the 1 in the 598, so you would multiply that, which of course is 598. And then you would divide it by the number that was not involved. So it's 598 divided by 144, which gives you essentially 4.15 feet squared. And if you look, you know you're on the right track because that's my actual answer. Here was my estimation. 4 feet is pretty darn close to 4.15 feet squared. So I'm going to give you some practice with this. This is nothing too difficult. The formula is pretty standard, as it has been for years. And please make sure that you use your formulas correctly, and always make sure you have an answer in the correct units and they are squared.